Well, good morning, everyone. Really good to see you on this Monday. It's almost 7 o'clock here on the East Coast. I'm Anne Marie Green, but we are starting with a really shocking situation, a horrifying and shocking tragedy in Wisconsin just days before Thanksgiving, where at least 5 people are dead and dozens are injured after an SUV plowed through a holiday parade. We know that children are among those who were injured. It happened yesterday afternoon in the town of Waukesha, just outside of Milwaukee. Police say a person of interest is in custody as they investigate a motive for this senseless act of violence. President Biden has been briefed on the situation, and the White House says that they're in close contact with local officials. So as you saw in the video, there were many witnesses, including Kaylee Staral. She was at the parade yesterday evening. She is also an intern for the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. And Kaylee, you are joining us now. We really appreciate it. I simply cannot imagine what you saw. The video is jarring. I can't imagine what it felt like in real time. You were at the parade. What, in fact, did you see?
Yeah, so it's a holiday parade. It's a ton of families with young children. People had their blankets and they had food and the bags for candy and things like that. And so probably around 4:35, you hear a bunch of screaming. And your first thought is maybe it's Santa, right? Santa comes at the end of the parade. But lo and behold, a red SUV comes barreling down the middle of the street, probably going at least 30 miles per hour, and it hits a bunch of people. It doesn't stop. It keeps going. And it was just a scene of pure chaos after that, people running around, screaming and crying, people trying to get into the stores, lining the parade route. And then you have other people going to help those that were hit in the street. So it was really just, it was chaos, and it was very scary.
Did you have an idea of, I guess I'm curious about what your first thoughts were when you see a vehicle barreling down the parade route? I would think, just like you thought, oh, maybe it's Santa, you try to sort of fit this odd vision into something that makes sense to you. What were you thinking at the time?
There's not much, it happened so quick, right? And so it's hard to even make sense. It's hard to process that a car is coming down and it doesn't seem real. You think maybe for a second it's part of the parade, but it becomes very evident that it's not. And I think that that's probably true for a lot of the people there. It's very unreal. You never expect something like this to happen. And when it does, it's just that much worse.
You said that, people immediately jumped into action to try and help those who were injured. Do you know how long it took for law enforcement to get there?
So we were on there were probably around 4 people on the ground hit in front of me. And it was only a few minutes later that 2 cops were running down the street, telling people to get off the street. That they were radioing to other cops, letting them know what the situation was on the ground. And so law enforcement was there pretty quickly. But we got off this scene pretty quick because we did hear that shots were fired. Again, I can't confirm that for you. I believe in a press conference, they elaborated that it was just the police that fired at the SUV. Yeah.
So the victims that you saw on the ground, were they part of the parade or were they, there to sort of take part in the festivities? Who were they?
I can't tell you that for sure. Again, it all happened really fast. What I can tell you is that the group that had just passed in front of us, it was a group of dancers, I believe the Waukesha Extreme Dance. So it was a bunch of teenage to little girls that had just passed. And the people on the ground, my mom went to go check and my stepdad went to go check in and see if they could help at all. And they did say that they were breathing and that they were conscious, but that they were beaten up. But there definitely were some injuries that happened.
So it's just so tough. It's tough to watch. The video seems unreal to me, but there we have, a list of people who are dead and injured. And I think people have a lot of questions. Kaylee, thank you very much.
Thank you.